What are 5 of the most shocking twists in comic book history? Stick around and find out. I'm Jackson. Welcome to Doc Comics. Comic books are no stranger to shocking twists, but every once in a while, a revelation comes along that completely rewrites the game. From devastating betrayals to hidden truths that reshape entire franchises, these are the moments that left fans picking their jaws up off the floor. In this video, we're going to rank 5 of the top twists that were so impactful they're still being talked about today. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not saying these are the top 5. I'm saying I picked 5 plot twist moments and I'm ranking those 5. So give that subscribe button a click and let's get to it. Number 5. Moira McTaggart is revealed to be a mutant. For decades, Moira McTaggart was known as one of the X-Men's most trusted allies. She was a brilliant scientist and a geneticist who helped Charles Xavier understand mutant kind, but in House of X number 2, Jonathan Hickman delivered one of the most jaw-dropping revelations in X-Men history. Moira McTaggart wasn't just an ally, she had actually been a mutant all along. The twist turned everything we knew about Moira on its head. Her mutant ability wasn't something flashy or combative. Instead, she had the power of reincarnation, retaining the memories of all her past lives every time she was reborn. This meant that Moira had lived multiple lifetimes, experiencing countless variations of the mutant struggle, each time attempting to reshape the fate of her people. Now, what made this twist work and what made the revelation so impactful was how it reframed decades of X-Men stories. Moira wasn't just a side character anymore, she was a pivotal figure in the history of mutant kind. Her actions, decisions, and even her alliances were driven by the lessons she had learned over multiple lifetimes, making her one of the most complex and fascinating characters in the Marvel Universe. Hickman used Moira's reincarnations to explore alternate realities and timelines, showing readers how the mutant struggle could unfold in different ways. It added layers of depth and tragedy to the X-Men story as Moira's repeated failures highlighted just how difficult it was to change mutant kind's fate. This revelation also had a long-lasting impact. Moira's mutant identity became the foundation for Hickman's Dawn of X era. Her knowledge from past lives helped Xavier and Magneto create Krakoa, a mutant nation-state where mutants could finally live free from persecution. But it also added tension. Moira's secretive nature and her hidden motives hinted that even her allies might not be able to trust her completely. As the Krakoa era evolved, Moira's story took even darker turns, revealing her as a more morally ambiguous character. The revelation that she was willing to manipulate her closest allies to achieve her vision of mutant survival raised questions about the cost of her actions. Now, why did all of this matter? Well, Moira McTaggart's transformation from a supporting character to a central figure in mutant history was a game changer. It showed how even long-standing characters could be reinvented in meaningful and unexpected ways. The twist also reinforced the X-Men's legacy of tackling themes of identity, destiny, and survival while pushing the boundaries of what superhero storytelling could achieve. With her mutant power, Moira became a symbol of resilience and the struggle to break free from cycles of failure, a fitting metaphor for the X-Men themselves. Number 4. Spider-Man's deal with Mephisto. One of the most controversial twists in Marvel Comics history came in the form of a devil's bargain. In the One More Day storyline, Peter Parker, desperate to save his Aunt May after she was shot due to his unmasking during Civil War, turned to an unlikely and morally questionable ally, Mephisto, Marvel's equivalent of the devil. The terms of the deal were Aunt May's life would be saved, but at the cost of Peter and Mary Jane's marriage. Their love, their bond, and all their shared history as a married couple would be erased from existence, leaving Spider-Man's continuity forever changed. The reason this twist worked was it struck a deep emotional chord. Peter's unyielding sense of responsibility meant he would sacrifice anything to save those he loved, but this decision wasn't just a sacrifice, it was a tragedy. Wiping out Peter and MJ's marriage not only altered their lives, but also changed decades of continuity for readers who had grown up with their relationship as a central pillar of Spider-Man's story. It also brought up an unsettling question: how far would Peter go to uphold his responsibility? In his desperation to save Aunt May, he made a deal with the literal devil, something that flew in the face of his heroic principles. This twist wasn't just about what Peter gave up, though. It was about what it said about his character. The fallout from this decision rippled across the Spider-Man mythos. MJ and Peter were no longer married, their deep romantic bond replaced with an undefined friendship. Their relationship was reset to pre-marriage status, leaving many fans frustrated and feeling like years of storytelling had just been undone in an instant. But on the flip side, One More Day gave Marvel a clean slate to re-explore Spider-Man's iconic status as the everyman hero. By removing the responsibilities of marriage, the series focused on Peter Parker's classic struggle as a single young superhero. As far as legacy goes, One More Day remains one of Marvel's most divisive stories. Some fans see it as a betrayal of Spider-Man's legacy, while others appreciate the creative freedom it allowed for new stories. Regardless, the deal with Mephisto was a bold and unforgettable twist that left a lasting mark on Spider-Man's history. Over the years, Marvel has revisited the consequences of this story in various ways, but the question still lingers. Was Peter's deal with Mephisto the ultimate act of selflessness, or the greatest mistake of his life? Number 3. Bucky Barnes revealed as the Winter Soldier. When it comes to shocking twists in Marvel Comics, few have had the emotional impact and long-lasting repercussions of Captain America number 6. For decades, one fact about Steve Rogers' story was set in stone. Bucky Barnes, his loyal sidekick during World War II, was dead. His tragic demise became a cornerstone of Captain America's mythology, symbolizing the sacrifices of war and serving as one of the key events that shaped Steve into the hero that he is. But in 2005, writer Ed Brubaker and artist Steve Epting changed the game forever. Their Captain America series introduced a mysterious assassin known only as the Winter Soldier. This deadly operative was a ghost, a legend in the world of espionage, responsible for countless covert assassinations over the decades. The twist? The Winter Soldier wasn't just some shadowy figure, it was actually Bucky Barnes. That's right, Bucky, presumed dead for over 60 years, had survived. In a mission gone wrong, he fell into the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Instead of dying, Bucky was recovered by the Soviets, who brainwashed him and turned him into the Winter Soldier. After every mission, his memories were wiped clean, leaving him a ghost of the boy Steve Rogers once knew. Now, why did this twist land so hard? Well, the reveal was devastating, not just for Steve Rogers, but for the readers. Bucky wasn't just alive, he was a villain now. This wasn't a cheap resurrection, it was a carefully crafted story that built on decades of Marvel history. Ed Brubaker's writing layered the twist with emotion, showing Steve grappling with the guilt, shock, and the realization that the war had claimed his best friend in more than one way. Steve Epting's gritty art brought the action and heartbreak to life, making the moment completely unforgettable. Bucky's return as the Winter Soldier changed everything. It challenged Captain America's belief system, forcing him to question whether he could save his friend or if Bucky was gone for good. The story also reframed Bucky as more than just a sidekick. He became a symbol in the lasting scars of the war, both physical and psychological. The Winter Soldier arc didn't just redefine Bucky, though. It became a defining story for Marvel itself. It led to major storylines like Civil War and the death of Captain America, where Bucky took up the shield and mantle of Captain America himself. So, you're probably asking why this matters. Well, the Winter Soldier reveal isn't just one of Marvel's biggest twists, it's one of the best stories also. It turned an unbreakable rule in comics into a moment of pure emotional storytelling. Bucky Barnes was no longer just a tragic memory, he became a complex, layered character forever tied to Steve Rogers in one of Marvel's most iconic relationships. Number 2. Norman Osborn revealed as the Green Goblin. If there's one villain in Spider-Man's rogues gallery who stands out as his ultimate nemesis, it's the Green Goblin. But what made the Green Goblin truly iconic wasn't just his battles with Spider-Man. It was the shocking twist that unmasked him as none other than Norman Osborn, the wealthy businessman and father of Peter Parker's best friend, Harry. When The Amazing Spider-Man number 39 hit shelves in 1966, it turned the superhero genre on its head. Up until this point, villains and heroes rarely had such deeply personal ties. The Green Goblin was introduced as a formidable foe with an air of mystery. No one knew who was behind the mask. Then came the bombshell. Norman Osborn, a seemingly upstanding member of society, was the madman behind the Goblin's terrifying persona. The twist worked, and the reveal was so impactful because of how it intertwined Peter Parker's two worlds. Norman wasn't just another villain. He was someone close to Peter. He was the father of his best friend. This created a dynamic that went beyond simple good versus evil battles. Peter couldn't just fight the Green Goblin as Spider-Man. He had to confront the complicated emotions of fighting someone tied to his personal life. The twist also introduced a reoccurring theme in Spider-Man's stories, which is the cost of keeping his identity secret. When Norman discovered Peter was Spider-Man, it set the stage for some of the most tragic and iconic moments in Marvel history, including the death of Gwen Stacy. The unmasking of Norman Osborn not only elevated him as Spider-Man's arch-nemesis, but it also established him as a major player in the Marvel Universe. Over the decades, Norman's influence has only grown. Whether it's as the Green Goblin, the leader of the Thunderbolts, or as the mastermind behind Dark Reign, his presence looms large over both Peter Parker and the Marvel Universe. Now, why does this matter, you ask? Well, the Green Goblin reveal was one of the first times in comics where the hero's personal and superhero lives collided in such a dynamic way. It raised the stakes. It made the story more human, and it showed readers that villains could be just as complex and layered as the heroes they fought. Norman Osborn's unmasking as the Green Goblin didn't just define Spider-Man's mythology, it defined Marvel's storytelling for years to come. Number 1. Captain America revealed as an agent of Hydra. Steve Rogers has always been the ultimate symbol of American ideals: freedom, justice, and unwavering morality. So, when Captain America Steve Rogers number 1 revealed that Steve had secretly been a Hydra agent all along, it sent shockwaves through the Marvel Universe and the real world. The story begins with Steve regaining his youthful vigor, being restored by a sentient cosmic cube named Kobik. Steve not only regained his strength, but also had his memories rewritten, making him believe he had always been a loyal Hydra agent. This wasn't just a plot twist. It was a grenade thrown into the heart of Marvel's most iconic hero. The Hydra Cap storyline worked because it dared to challenge everything readers thought they knew about Captain America. It wasn't just shocking for shock's sake. It was a commentary on the fragility of symbols and how they can be manipulated. Captain America had always been a beacon of hope, but now he symbolized the corruption of power and the loss of trust in once reliable institutions. The twist also created a deeply personal conflict. Steve Rogers wasn't some imposter or doppelganger. This was the real Captain America, with decades of history behind him. Seeing his friends and allies grapple with this betrayal added layers of tension and heartbreak to the story. Not surprisingly, the reveal sparked outrage among fans. Many felt it was disrespectful to Captain America's legacy, particularly given his origins as a hero created to fight against the Nazi regime. The Hail Hydra moment from this first issue became infamous, and some fans even boycotted Marvel over the storyline. The controversy only deepened as the storyline further unfolded in the Secret Empire event. Hydra Cap successfully took over the United States, creating a dystopian world under Hydra rule. But in the end, the real Steve Rogers emerged to confront this Hydrified counterpart, defeating him and restoring his legacy. While the Hydra Cap storyline remains polarizing, it undeniably made an impact. It forced readers to confront uncomfortable questions about their heroes and their vulnerabilities. It also highlighted the dangers of blind trust and the ease with which ideals can be subverted. For better or worse, Hydra Cap became one of the most memorable twists in Marvel history. It was a bold, controversial move that reminded everyone just how much power comic book storytelling still holds. And there you have it. 5 of the biggest twists in Marvel Comics that shook readers to their core. From Moira McTaggart's mutant revelation to Captain America's jaw-dropping turn as an agent of Hydra, these stories remind us why Marvel remains at the forefront of storytelling innovation. So what did you think of the list? Did your favorite Marvel twist make the cut, or did we miss one that you would have included? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the biggest moments in comics history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, but for now, test your Doom Patrol knowledge with these 6 slightly obscure facts.